Hey, what's up? We're live. Yeah, we're just talking about the thumbnail. She's uh she's not that good looking, this girl. I don't know. I mean, she isn't, she isn't. I don't want to judge anyone's looks. I mean, like I wouldn't say no to her. I'll say that. She's also like I think she's only 21 or something. It's real. She's very, very young. Like that's why like a lot of her comments I do take with like a grain of salt cuz she's like a young idiot. Like you have to realize that with
I mean,
Rachel Zegler.
just like her gestures and body language, it seems like she's almost like reading off of a script.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I think all these, and the funny thing is all these clips are from D23, which was in April. She's been like out of the public spotlight since then, so you know what's funny? I'm seeing like Yahoo and like I'm seeing Yahoo mention how everyone hates her. It's like this isn't not it's being covered now by the mainstream that like people don't like this girl because she's like an idiot.
well, I remember sharing a clip maybe a month or two ago where she was saying how this is not your, like Prince Charming coming in to save anything at all. The guy is almost like completely inept and secondary to what's going on, and the only reason he's in the film is just because, uh, it's expected.
Yeah.
He's just there to like fill the role and have really no, uh, I don't know, impact on anything. He almost might as well be a glorified extra.
Yeah, I mean that's let's get into I was gonna talk about this a little bit later, but let's get into it because I think it seems relevant that we're talking about it. Um, yeah, everyone fucking hates Rachel Zegler. Like everyone, I'm seeing like when you see mainstream hate about her, that is not a
Who?
good sign. Her name is Rachel Zegler, which is a German name, by the way.
Oh, that's who's
Very
going to
German.
be Snow White.
Yeah, very German last name. I'm assuming she's half Spanish, half
When you
white.
said Zegler, I thought it would be maybe Zeigler. Like, don't they have a Zy in their pronunciation several
I think
times?
if they're gonna do Z in like a Z sound in Spanish, it's usually gonna be an X. So I think she's got a father who's German. I'm gonna assume that. I mean, I know she's Spanish. I know she is Spanish descent. But this is kind of funny. I saw this meme and I was like, oh, this is so true.
Well, it looks like
Um,
Zegler. There's no I.
yeah, it's
I
Zegler.
thought
Yeah,
there
yeah,
was an
Rachel
I.
Zegler.
Usually it's
Yeah, that'd be
Zy.
Z. That'd be Ziegler.
Zegler.
It'd be
Zegler.
Ziegler if it was super German, but Zegler is
Yeah,
pretty close.
it almost feels like a weird adaptation on the name. I feel like a lot of actors have fake names first and last.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
I don't
some
think
of
this
them
one's
don't want
fake.
to. Like I remember, what's his name? Denzel
I don't think.
Washington's son didn't want
Yeah,
people to know that he was connected or related to him, so he made up names to get parts.
yeah. Oh wow, Ziegler is she's born in Hackensack, New Jersey, raised in Clifton, New Jersey.
I don't know if I've ever been to Hackensack. Where's that at?
It's
Like, which
North
relative?
Jersey. Same with Clifton. It's like it's not a great. It's not a bad area. It's not a great area. It's across from New York City. It's like by East. It's by Giant Stadium. She's not far off from Giant Stadium.
Yeah, this is a little old now, but it's definitely still holds up. I mean, it's hard to really gauge how old one is from another, and also just the uh, the way that they both look so similar. I guess is good. I mean, is well, I don't know. Going back to like the other movies, I remember it was like Kristen Scott and Charlize Theron, and they don't
Kristen
really look.
Kristen Stewart, right? She was the Twilight girl.
Yeah, Kristen Stewart and Charlize Theron, and they don't look very similar at all. But these two
No,
definitely have almost more of a
I mean,
some.
obviously, I think Gal Gadot is better looking in this photo than Rachel Zegler right there.
Yeah, but Photoshop is a hell of a drug. You can manipulate the fuck out of every little detail and lighting hit. I mean, it's hard to trust anything.
Well, I think Gal Gadot is good looking. I just don't think she sounds great. The whole accent she has, to me, it doesn't work. To me, like I really
Yeah,
dislike it.
yeah. I remember when we did the review of the Superman Batman stuff. It was really hard to make out some of her dialogue,
Oh
and
yeah, she
I'm not
was
like
really
trying to
hard.
be mean or anything. It's just like we listened to it. I think back like 4 or 5 times in a row, and still the line was really hard to decipher. Do you
Yeah, I don't
remember
think
that?
I. Oh yeah, I mean, I
It
really do
wasn't
not
just
think
one time. I
she's
think it
easy
was
to
like a
hear.
couple where like I did not know what the fuck she was saying at all.
Yeah, no, I don't think she's easy to understand. That was my whole issue also with that movie. It's like you're gonna make a movie the mainstream and have it hard to have a character like be understandable. Like that's crazy. To me, that's crazy. You want like that's also why it's like I wouldn't have cast her. I mean, just because of that alone, to tell you the truth. You can get another good looking fucking brunette. Come on.
Well, I wanted Alexandra Daddario to play Superwoman.
She would have been perfect at
I
it,
think she
actually.
would have been perfect for that. And also, the original was
She
really
looks like
good.
her. She looks like the
Yeah.
original 70s lady. Linda, what is her name?
Um,
I wanted to say Linda Blair, but I know it's not that.
I don't know. We talked about it before, but I can't remember it right now. But I just think, the character is drawn and created a certain way, and to deviate from it is fine. But really, for like the first movie, it should be at least like close to the origin story and all that, and
Yeah.
then deviate.
It's Linda Carter, by the way.
Yeah, Linda Carter was
I knew it was
on
a Linda.
the '70s. Uh, it was like it was almost like, what was that like Nickelodeon show where people would do shit and call him the Crag? It was like that, but it was like a bunch of game shows all together.
Hmm.
And Linda Carter was on that in like a swimsuit,
Oh, okay, that
type.
sounds like a good idea. Here's the fairest of them all, Rachel Zegler in this photo. This is also like let's choose like the worst frame you can get. She's 22. Okay, she's 22. All
Are they
right.
really
So,
not going to have uh, any, you know, little people, midget, dwarfs, whatever?
oh, so far no, unless they reshoot it, which
Just
I
one.
kind of I kind of have a feeling they might reshoot
They
this.
got a fucking token dwarf and then cast the rest of it with non-dwarfs. That's so
Yeah,
fucked up.
I
Like,
mean it's
this is literally like the only time any of them are gonna have a chance or really, opportunity to have major roles, and you're fucking denying it. It's
oh
really fucked up.
exactly.
Because think about it, it's not like they're devoid of talent. I mean, Warwick Davis is good. Peter Dinklage is
Yeah,
good, and I'm sure there's more of them we never
dude.
fucking heard about. I mean,
There's got to be
Vern
more that
Troyer
don't get
kind
the
of got like
chance.
memed out and all fucked up, but he
Well,
did
he's
enough
dead
to
too.
make that role iconic and stuff.
I mean, here this is what we were
To
saying
not
earlier.
give them the ability to fill those roles just seems so fucked.
Rachel Zegler is the officially new Brie Larson. And by the way, this photo she looks really good. So, but I mean, look at that eye gap though between her eyes. I think you could drive a truck. It's like a freeway right there.
Who, who is this like the only thing saying that she's the new Brie
No,
Larson, or is
I've
this like
heard
a common
streamers
thing?
talk about it too. And then this is fun. This is actually a site called Inside the Magic. I think they just talk about like movies and other things. It's funny that like this is written
Well, I
by a
guess it's the
female
trope.
too.
Then we're reaching trope level
Oh
where
no, it's like I'm telling you, all the new. I saw Yahoo talking about how everyone's hating her. It's like this is becoming like mainstream news to hate on this bitch. This is not a good thing for Disney. Again,
I know, but
buy that
you know,
stock.
I, I mean, we're 30K in. I feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say
When the
this inside
zeitgeist hits,
information.
it's gonna hit. It's gonna be like, and actually, we should have this clip, the Raiders of the Lost Ark. when they open it up and all their faces melt. I feel like that should be on a rotation of clips.
Yeah. Oh, I should get that. That's a good point. I should get that. I mean, it's no longer 1937.
Absolutely wrote a Snow White that is not going to be saved by the prince. She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about.
You're right. It's no longer.
By the way, that quote that she said it
She's
like
dreaming about
18 times.
she's dreaming about female empowerment and the movement.
Oh, you
She's
got to
not
run
worried
out.
about a prince in the middle of a forest in some fantasy world. She's thinking about how to overthrow the patriarchy king, murder him, and be queen for the next 5-10 years. If they can last long without getting murdered themselves.
And what you got to do is you got to do what Brie Larson did, was just show up in a trailer in like a white t-shirt, like a white shirt with her tits out, and people will love that.
I gotta say, Brie Larson's
she's good looking,
a lot
man.
better than this. A lot better. And I hated Brie Larson. I don't.
But she also she started off
she's very mannish. Like her chin and face is very hard. You know, she's got a hard face. Is that a thread anywhere? Hard face. Hard face.
No, I don't think so. But I think it's kind of like a female wrestler kind of trait there. You got a hard face.
Yeah, they got like big chins.
She kind of looks like a female wrestler.
Testosterone going on than they need.
But
yeah, of course, for wrestlers, you gotta inject that shit just to keep up.
But she's basically all but admitted how she hates the character. That's like that's the thing that like bothers me the most, because it's like this is a good character, a good movie. It's also just like, honestly, go watch the old movie and you'll probably have a good time. Anyone who really wants to see a new Snow White, who is that? I don't think there is anyone who really wants that. I don't know. But you can admit that you could tell that all these like interviews are all just like exactly what they want her to say. She said the same thing like 18 times, like, oh, this is not your 1937 movie. It's like, this is exactly what the marketing agency is telling her to say.
They didn't try and think of a way to make, in a live action, I guess we'll call them little people or midgets or dwarves, more profitable and actionable in a live action. I mean, we're talking live action. Like Peter Dinklage obviously didn't want to be part of this shit. He's beyond that. But is there not another little person that's going to be?
Dude, there probably is.
Or capacity? Like there has to be, right?
Well, also, it's like, what if you find someone who is the next Peter Dinklage? You know what I mean? Like, what if you find?
You know, like, you're not even giving them a chance.
You know, it's like
you're
sports.
Fucking putting in these Portlandia extras,
right?
You know, when we could be looking at the next Tipsos.
Right. It's like sports, man. If you don't put someone into the game, how do you know what they're good or not? You know, like it's the same thing with these type of actors. Like it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, with baseball, the big thing is if you can't hit lefties, people just don't want to even give you a fucking shot to hit them. I don't know what it is, but I got so many motherfuckers who can destroy righties, and you put a lefty in, and it's like Pedro Serrano, you know.
Well, the big thing here is it's not 1937. She's not going to be saved by the prince. She's not going to be dreaming about true love.
Like you don't have
she
to
said that multiple times.
But what then is the plot alternative?
I don't know, because that was kind of what the plot was about.
Dragon?
Well, here's her talking. This is a new clip. I mean, all these clips are not new, but they've been like resurfacing. I think
she just gets with the.
I think she is cute in this video. I think she's good looking, but
she's definitely cute and good looking. But
I think her photos sometimes come out a little wonky.
No, I think people are like manipulating the shit to make her look bad as possible.
I mean, yeah, like that one photo, like you clip at the worst part where she's like mid blink. Yeah, they're gonna look like an idiot.
Yeah, but you've also shared stuff where her tits are all pushed up and then look bigger than they are, and that's all you got to do sometimes. That's it.
Yeah,
like a what is it that cuts your midriff off, where you have like no air to breathe? A corset. Like corsets, they exist still in a different way. They're not as drastic and fucked up, but they still exist. There's just
Right.
been like manipulated and brought into different ways. You know, you can have like chest trainers and shit to get your abdomen down, or um, you know, certain angles even just with photography can make shit look bigger. It's all
Yeah,
about
well,
like
I
perspective
think
sometimes.
all the bald ones, they wear that what is that? It's like a skin tight thing underneath their body to like make it seem not less fat. I forget what it's called.
A fat suit,
Yeah, they basically wearing like a thin suit. They're wearing like a thin suit.
a thin
But
suit,
here's
yeah,
the
or
clip.
a girdle,
Nah, it's like what is it like Spanx?
or a
They're wearing like
bustier.
full body. All the bald ones are wearing like
A
full body
bustier, a
Spanx.
girdle. There's like different
Girdles.
versions of
Yep.
the same thing that have happened for centuries of time. You know,
Oh
it's
yeah.
nothing new. Trying to project, you know, your body in a
Yeah.
certain way.
Also, like all
Definitely,
of the
if you
Estevez,
combine it with like the
and
angle
Sheen
of the
family.
shot, it makes it even more better. You know, it's like
Oh yeah.
if they shot over her head looking down, it would look terrible. But if you shoot underneath and her face is projected, it looks amazing. You know, it's like
Yeah.
all, you know, like you're filling the entire screen and everything's enveloped and big.
Yeah.
It
Well,
really
it's like
is. It's so manipulated based on what you want people to see or not. I mean,
oh yeah. Well, that's Hollywood.
it's not that hard at all.
Here's this clip. She's fucking insufferable.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her.
Let's stop it there. You're
It's hard to
talking
get
about
through.
one of
Like
the
it's like difficult to
greatest.
get through the entire clip.
You're talking about one of
Because
the
you
greatest
know-
animated movies of all time that people still regard as like a masterpiece. Oh, it's so evidently so 1937. I don't know if there actually is animation today that can be done that matches that level of quality. Maybe like Studio Ghibli or Ghibli, whatever you want to say, but that's probably
Well, I
the
think
only thing that's
Pixar
coming
has a few.
close.
Toy Story.
Yeah, but Pixar's got 3D animation. I'm talking hand drawn
The
animation. That's like
Incredibles. I think The Incredibles.
it looks nice for what it
was
is, but
really good. I gotta say, like The Incredibles is something I'd never really wanted to rewatch, but I appreciated it a lot at the time it came out. Just you know, I don't know. There was something about it, but
it's still 3D though. It's still not the same thing as hand drawn like work and like paintings as backdrops and all that. You know, like it's not the same thing. Even though
have
it
you
does look
noticed how
nice.
much the mother from The Incredibles gets memed out sexually?
I think both.
As far
I think
as-
there's a lot of sexualization of those characters,
What is
which is
that
a little creepy.
rule?
Rule 34.
Yeah, like I think that's one of the higher ones.
Oh yeah, that's up there.
And
Love
for
Story.
Pokemon, Gardevoir is one of the higher ones too.
Yeah, for some reason that weird Pokemon.
Focus
Well, it's
on
like a
her love
ghost
story.
psychic. So if you can meet like a psychic ghost woman, that's
Good frame.
probably up there.
It's another awkward frame of hers. You know, she might not have the best still frame face.
Evidently so.
Yeah, I feel like
There's a big focus on her love story. With a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
Yeah, we didn't do that. She's acting like she wrote this movie.
So no Prince or a different kind of Prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will.
By the way, you're right on those tits. It looks like flat, like a 11-year-old boy.
Assume is a love story.
whatever she's
just
wearing
because, like,
is pushing
Stupid.
them down.
Yeah, very stupid outfit there.
It's almost like a corset that is, well, like her nipples are kind of see through, but it's almost like wearing a denim jacket at the same time.
It's a
weird-
strange
and
look.
but it's like mixed into a men's kind of sport shirt at the same
Yeah.
time. It's a very strange, confusing combination of styles all together.
Yeah, the
that makes
interviewer
it
looks
so
better.
ambiguous on purpose, I think.
Probably. Yeah, good point. That's probably in.
we cast a guy in the movie,
Right.
Andrew Burnap, great dude.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Oh, that's nice. All those scenes could get cut. Oof. I feel bad for that guy. Well, you know what? All those scenes could get reshot with real midgets and an actual love story, because that's what people probably want in a Disney shitty princess movie. Come on. Or also maybe just cut this, like cancel this movie. This movie should really just be released probably digitally, especially all the hate that's going on. And then people are talking about, you know, Rachel Zegler is just all this hate. This is like new. This is also like, again, this is all this mainstream hate on Rachel Zegler. She's hating on Snow White when Halle Bailey, whatever her fucking name is.
Yeah, Halle Berry.
Just the worst name compared,
which
because we
felt
know
like a weird Halle Berry psyop.
Yeah. Also, a lot of space in between their eyes. This is like a fight for who has the most space between their eyes. But
You know what Halle Berry reminded me of was when the bass god Lil B would create tracks and song titles just off of like relevant people at the time. So whatever leaked shit, like accidental searches, would hit his account.
No, exactly. But at least she was,
really was a early YouTube kind of algorithm marketing genius.
Yeah, I mean, but at least Halle Bailey was into her movie. She like never talked shit that much on The Little Mermaid or any of that crap. She just said like, "Oh, we're making a new movie that's more for a new culture," which is like, of course they're gonna say that. That's what they say these days. But she didn't like shit on the movie like this girl has. And yeah, it drives me nuts because yeah, here's these hipsters of Portland. Ooh. I guess this is the prince. He's got like a tucked up pants kind of thing going on there.
I mean, these are test shots. I don't know how much we really want to.
Oh, they're not test shot. They're stand-ins, but I think they're kind of, you know, it's because the writer's strike and they're filming like close-ups. You know, if you're gonna film close-ups, you're gonna do it with stand-ins.
Well, hold on. Let's go back to like all the photos and predict who will the actual person be cast for it.
Yeah, I mean Peter Dinklage for this one, right?
Yeah, definitely. But he doesn't want to do it. But that's pure Peter.
Who do you put in here?
A British actor who's
this guy reminds me of somebody.
Washed up, but still relevant to that market.
Yeah, all right, I agree with that. Who do you put in here?
Chris Pine or some like straight laced white guy hero.
Pete Holmes right here. Look at this pants thing here going on here. You got this little cod thing going on.
Yeah, it's almost like he's got 3 different cocks.
Yeah, but like deflated, so there's not really an evident penis
it's there. Like a male. It's like a fupa times 3.
And here you have Harper Marx. You could resurrect Harper Marx
like
for this
the easiest meme bull guy. He's been.
Yeah. Why do they wear blazers? What kind of fucking dwarfs wear blazers and a hoodie and like a fucking, what is it, a beanie? Okay, this is, you get the guy from who trained Arya in Game of Thrones. Get that little guy who's teaching her how to sword fight.
I mean, how is this character not a dwarf?
Like, I mean, how are they all not dwarfs? Who do you get for here?
Because they either can't act or they don't want them to be in.
I'm not touching this one. Ain't touching this one either. Yeah. Let me get some ads here. We get some more galleries.
More galleries, yeah.
Ain't touching that one. This was TMZ, so you know you're gonna get some trash.
Oh wow, they got some interesting ads popping up.
Oh yeah. Well, come on. They know their market. They know what sells.
Oh, they know it inside and out. Yeah, they got like Mr. Beast fucking professionals trying to boost that fucking algorithm.
Yeah, if you want to find like a bold shot of Mr. Beast, you're gonna go to TMZ. Whoever the fuck Mr. Beast is. I can't even tell you who the fuck he is. I know I've heard the name. I don't really understand. He's a YouTuber, right? I think he appeals to kids, right? He's like kids like Mr. Beast.
Yeah, it's one of the bigger markets that it's a failsafe. Like they're borderline retarded. They don't even know what's going on, and you can
But I wonder
everything they're thinking about or looking for easily.
Do you think? Wait, what was the clip you said we should get? I gotta clip that out. You said we should get some kind of clip. I gotta write this down. You said there's a clip we should have.
Shit. That's something I usually watch on the replay of the video.
Yeah, I have to watch the replay to find out what you talked about.
My short-term memory is pretty fucked.
But I wonder if Rachel Zegler knows how to ham bone.
Can you ham bone?
What's that?
Are you getting it?
I can look at myself in the mirror and I can start laughing at myself.
I gotta watch this show. Even now I have it downloaded. I gotta check it out.
It's on Plex.
But, yeah, I put it all as. I don't think the files are like the greatest files in the world, but it's what I could find. That's the thing, is like that thing's.
Can you
that show's like gone, man.
Can you sell your Plex account?
No, I can't sell my Plex account. Actually, I shared my
because
Plex
it's
account.
Got like so much volume and crazy shit to it. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't subscribe monthly, but I might pay like $5 just to have
I have 2,600. Yeah, I have 2,620 movies on there. 2,620 movies.
I know,
it's 290 shows
that I could never find on my own. Just looking.
Well, that's what I like about it, because a lot of these torrents, like these torrents disappear. That's also
they're
why
gone. They're fucking gone.
Yeah, no, like
there's stuff I lost on my iTunes music stuff, and I can't find it anymore. Like a Pirate Bay's been neutered to where all the things I had are gone, and
no one seeds things after a certain time.
Connected accounts, they're so expired by now. Like I'll never get those files again.
Yeah, after a certain time, you can't find. I'd say honestly, torrenting is like the last 3 years, and anything past that gets hard to find. And then there are some things that are just a little obscure that might be hard to find always, or maybe too independent or something like that.
Yeah, the circulation is just so low.
Yeah.
And production too. You know,
I shared my server with this one guy I met last week on the film thread Discord. I was talking. I don't know if you watched the replay from Friday, but I talked to this guy in Discord. It was kind of cool. He was a film projectionist in Minnesota, so it was actually really random conversation, but it was actually pretty good.
A film projectionist?
Yeah, he works for
That's how the girl from X
Alamo. He works for Alamo Drafthouse, which is the best theaters across America.
You see X and Pearl, right?
Yeah,
it's fucking good. Like really fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
I did not expect that at all going in. You know, like the trailers and ads, I felt like they did them. You know, they didn't do them a service. Like I feel like they should have been more successful and profitable than they were.
Oh yeah. Also, speaking of like a bad trailer, is that Gran Turismo movie trailer sucks, and that movie is like awesome. That movie's like really fucking good.
It was, you know, it technically is a video game movie, but it really is more of like a Fast and the Furious adaptation. Because that market is so
it's different than that though too. It's more like, you ever see Breaking Away? It's a biking movie like racing biking movie with Dennis Quaid. This is like an old movie now. It's kind of like Breaking Away and Bad News Bear. It's a sports movie. This whole movie is like a sports movie. It's really good for that. Like David Harbour is basically like a football coach. He's like a
Well,
football
it's sort
coach
of like
that's like an
that
asshole.
running movie, something of Champions or whatever the fuck, with that
Yeah,
iconic soundtrack
yeah. It's
and
like
everyone running slow motion.
it doesn't have a Fast and Furious vibe. It really doesn't. It has more of a
No, so you're
because
saying
Fast
it's
and
more
Furious is not a
respectable
sports
than
movie.
that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Fast and Furious is not a sports movie. It's an action movie. This is like a sports movie. It really feels like there's like it's almost like I even like compare it to like a Rocky. You know, like there's like training parts. Like the first hour is
Well, that's what Chariots of Fire kind of is for running, though.
yeah. It's like I mean he's a gamer and these top gamers get invited to like see if they can win this race to be like if you qualify for the top Gran Turismo players. And like the top players qualify to go to this GT school where they're actually going to put them in a race car. And then the whole first hour is basically like these people learning how to use a race car and all that shit. And David Harbour is the coach, kind of being like, "You guys are gonna fucking fail because you shouldn't even fucking be here." You know, like that's like his whole point is like, "You guys are not fucking supposed to be here, and I'm gonna prove it to you."
David Harbour from Stranger Things.
Yeah, and then
In
you
that
know, even like
Santa Claus movie. It's that
like I like having
he's
conflict.
some money off of Stranger Things in these weird, maybe one off or two parts.
Yeah,
But I'm
and
glad he got that shit. And
oh
his
yeah, yeah, me too. It's actually one of his
uncle's
best roles.
was
It's a great
terrible.
role
That
of
was
his.
weird, very weird,
Yeah.
in a bad way.
Yeah, and it's like good to have, like this movie is surprising because it creates all these it has villains and it has like stakes. Like all the pit crew like doesn't want to do anything for this guy. Like no one wants to like be a pit crew for a fucking gamer. That they're calling him like a noob and making
Yeah,
fun
they
of
want
him.
him to fail.
Yeah, all the other drivers want him to fail. All the fans want him
Not
to
even
fail.
that,
So
like
it's like
when
the
your own
stakes are
crew
really
wants you to
good.
fail, you're completely fucked.
Yeah, so I really like that. I was like and then even, like, when he's at the camp, there's, like, an obvious cocky shit who's, like, the villain, and then,
Who
like,
directed this?
Neil Blomkamp, and he fucking did a good job, like and
Oh
it's
wow, this
dude,
motherfucker, man! I
it's
gotta
so
say,
grounded,
I'm surprised in his longevity. He's been around for a long fucking time.
and this is, like honestly, it's a really grounded film where it's, like, it doesn't feel stylized like a lot of his other stuff. This is super just, like,
What did
grounded,
you
good
think of
movie.
Elysium? That shit with Matt Damon.
Not too good and very stylized. Like, all his stuff has this really
It's
stylized
not that I
kinda
hated it. It just felt
feel.
so forced.
Yeah, it's like I did like it though for what it was, I
I did
guess,
like it
but
a lot. I mean, if that's like the base of what you're watching, that's really fucking good,
yeah.
And
Although I don't
also,
think it got any play.
he definitely, he made like Matt Damon the star, but not in a way where it was so dependent on his performance at all. You
Well,
know
I
what I
think
mean?
that
Like
was
there
his
was so much
first
more
like
to the film and so much like just information and context to take in where he was almost secondary. And that's what you want,
yeah.
I think. Like in a director who's really not proven in that market. Because, he hit hard like in foreign stuff, but
Yeah.
it's hard to break in America. Like a lot of I noticed this like just from music. A lot of British groups that are very successful there do not cross over, and it's confusing why sometimes.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely like I think Neil Blomkamp directed the shit out of this movie. He did a good job and all the racing scenes are super good. Like I mean, like I don't give a shit about car racing, but it made me give a shit about car racing. That's a better way to say it. I was
Well, did
like
you
I
ever
was
see
on my edge of my
Days of
seat.
Thunder with Nicole Kidman and Tom
Yeah.
Cruise?
Yeah, and I would say this is better than that. Like this is the
I
best
mean,
racing movie I've
that
ever
is
seen.
pretty peak. Like, I mean, that movie is hitting pretty fucking hard. The director
Yeah.
and main actors and actress are all like hitting pretty fucking hard at that point. That is peak like late 80s, early 90s. Nicole Kidman, Tom Cruise, Ridley Scott all together. It's pretty
Yeah, and
fucking Pretty fucking
The
big.
thing, I think the thing I liked about this was, like Formula One is not just like the circle. It's like they have these cool racetracks where they're like going all around and making different turns and all that shit. It's different than the typical like fucking loop that we have with NASCAR, which is fucking boring. It's a little different, but all the effects looked really good. The cars are pretty cool. Um, it's a good movie. I was very impressed by it. I was actually like invested in the character. I think he's a very subtle. I think a lot of people might say he's kind of a boring character, but I like that. It's the same thing with that
I was
movie.
doing box office wise.
It didn't come out yet. That was an early screening I saw. It was supposed to come out, but I
Oh,
think
it's a screener?
yeah, it was a screener. Well, no. So it was supposed to come out on the 11th, but then I think they decided to push it back because of Barbie and Oppenheimer. So it's coming out on the 25th. But because it's supposed to come out on 11th, they had some deals with theaters, so they did early access showings. So I went to an early access screening of it. It was good though. I was really impressed. It should be out there. It should be something you see on a big screen because it's really good effects and it looks nice. And
Yeah,
I like the actor a lot.
I
It's
really
very British too.
regret not seeing the first Doom movie in theaters. I really wish I saw that. Because just watching it on whatever I had was amazing. And
Yeah, I mean
here's
a good.
I don't want some like IMAX fucking goggle thing, but it looked just so good at certain points where I felt like I was missing out.
Oh yeah, I mean here's some racing clip I have here.
Drinking at 6 a.m. We're here now. I don't know what time it is, but I'm rolling deep, and those cars are going real fast and real left, son. They're going fast and left. Fuck yeah!
That's America right there. Fast and left, bro.
It's like a King of the Hill extra.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've never really got into racing. It's never really appealed to me, so. But this was cool. I did like it. Go see Gran Turismo, and go check out the review on WizardShack to watch our review on that. What's my next thing here? Disney Plus mass cancellations because they increased the price. So they increased the price. I think 2 days ago, which was it's a big desperate attempt since the writer's strike. The writer's strike has caused a couple of these streaming things to increase their price. I think because they know they're gonna have to pay writers something, so they're like, we might as well fucking increase this shit. But
Well, it's like
not
part of the deal they agree on.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is they're gonna have to probably pay the actors and writers more because of this. So that's probably why they're increasing. They're gonna eventually have to. This is eventually gonna have to end, and they're probably gonna have to pay them more money. But Disney and Hulu are gonna raise their prices. Disney's going from $10. By the way, there's been all these there's been all these like hashtags and searches of this about Disney. And so they're increasing it from $10.99 to $11 to $14. And then Hulu is going from $15 to $18. And then the bundle is going from $20 to $25. It's like 27% increase. It's
They're
pretty
increasing
big.
shit. What seems like a down failed market.
Oh yeah, it really is. I mean, it really is. It's a super failed market. I think everyone. And then here's the thing: after this happened, all these canceled Disney Plus. By the way, our hashtag for this video on Twitter is cancel Disney Plus. But all these canceled Disney Plus online searches have spiked by more than 25%. Yeah, everyone's kind of talking about it. The last time that this has been like this was January 2023, where you saw this canceled Disney Plus stuff, and that was when the first time they increased it. They increased it from I think like $8 to $8, or maybe it was $10 to this $14 price. So, or no, it was $8 to this now. Yeah, that's what it was.
A lot of like strange context clues of stuff that might be coming for beforehand, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna increase shit, people are gonna hate it. You know, it's obvious. It's obvious. Yeah, these new price things have not done well, especially with all the their flops at the box office, and even their park is not doing super well. The parks are experiencing a big downward spike in attendance, which is surprising to see because that's kind of that's their bread and butter is the parks. But I think if I was in Universal like or in Orlando, I'd rather go to Universal. Here's another thing. They're seeing that search cancel Disney Pluses. This is Google search results, but they have an uptick of 510%, which just makes sense because no one's really searching for it until they are. So this is where this is coming from. Not looking good, but hey, one thing I have to say that rhymed like a modern poet. But the Disney stock, man, is down $80 to $87 a share.
Oh, I
And
know.
I was looking at this at Max. At Max time, this was at like $188 a share in April 2021. That's not too long ago. So
You know what this kind of reminds me of? When pre-lockdown, all these politicians and people were buying up Zoom stock before they knew that it was going to happen.
I think it's gonna
I feel
take
like
a big.
we're just banking on some Disney, resurgence. Like, oh, all of a sudden, the platform is completely different.
Yeah,
And
well, I
all
think
the-
it's gonna
all
go
the
down
markets
further.
that alienated and sank are going to be now profitable.
I think it's gonna go down further, but then it's gonna jump back up.
I know.
And the
it's
word
just
is they're already starting to
that's what I hate
understand
about
this new
stock
shit.
and all that shit. Is like, how do you know when we're hitting the bottom, or like how much further do you want to ride it out? I mean, the potential earnings could be a month difference, or 3 or 6, or like it's just, when do you
Well, the
want
word
to
is
what's
the word
point?
is
What's
they're
the breaking point? And I feel
the
like
word is
we
that they're
should
starting to
know
go
immediately
forward.
when that is, given how long we've been tracking it.
The word is they're starting to go forward with less woke ideology. The stuff we're seeing now is from pre-production like 5 years ago. So if this is 2023,
Pretty strong.
you're looking at stuff like 2028, 20 or 2018 that was, height wokeness, and that's where we get Snow White, we get Little Mermaid, but even so I saw they're making the next live action thing that's going to happen is Tangled, and they're going to have Florence Pugh probably play the character. So that's a good example of they didn't get like a minority to play
It's definitely going
Tangled.
to be a big common denominator on a lot of research and information. Like it's just, there's no way around it.
But if they're getting Florence Pugh, like a white woman, to play a character, let they're maybe stopping on that race swapping stuff they've been doing with everything. Now that they're seeing like, all right, it's not making money, maybe we should stop. That's what it feels like.
I mean, initially, once it stopped making, you would think like once it stops, like the revenue is not coming in, then they got to think of an alternative.
Yeah,
but not like burn whatever bridges they've created at the same time.
Yeah. And I mean, I have on the background here Disney Plus right now. I'm watching Darby O'Gill and the Little People. You ever heard of that movie?
No, what's that?
It's like a leprechaun movie, and Sean Connery's in it. It's an early Sean Connery part.
As a midget?
No, he's a regular sized person. He's one of the Irish people, but
so
I think he's Welsh.
Tiptoes.
No, it's nothing like that. It's a leprechaun movie. It's pretty bad.
Oh, by the way, I was going over like through some old posts we had, and a lot of the comments were asking for translations of the stream. How do we go about that?
What do you mean translate?
Well, like a lot of the comments were in Spanish, and then a couple I translated into English, and they're saying, when is the translation? So I think maybe we should run through like old recordings to a translator and then repost it with overdubs.
I don't know how that would be possible. I don't even know how to make that happen on YouTube.
Well, you gotta run the audio from
But
the
here's the
original,
thing.
and then have a translation device record, not record, have like a recorded version, almost like a transcript of everything that happened, and then dictate that with a program to have somewhat off overdubs on the original video. Even though they're off, it's better than nothing for a lot of them, it seems.
But here's the thing: they're not bringing over their best, man. They're bringing over not their best. They're hopping over the border, bringing drug dealers. I mean, look at Trump. He knew what he's talking about, right? Should we cater to them? I don't know. Should we cater to these Rachel Zegler types? I don't know. Zachary.
Rachel Zegler is.
Well, you might remember this. This is an old one, but a good one. I like this clip.
Terrorist, your game is through. 'Cause now you have to answer to America. Fuck yeah. So lick my blood and suck on my bone, America. Fuck yeah. What you gonna do when we come for you now? It's the dream that we all share. It's the hope for tomorrow. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Walmart. Fuck yeah. Gas. Fuck yeah. Baseball. Fuck yeah. NFL. Fuck yeah. Rock and roll. Fuck yeah. The internet. Fuck yeah. Slavery. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Starbucks. Fuck yeah. Disney World. Fuck yeah. Porno. Fuck yeah. Valium. Fuck yeah. Reebok. Fuck yeah. Fake tits. Fuck yeah. Sushi. Fuck yeah. Taco Bell. Fuck yeah. Rodeo. Fuck yeah. Bed Bath and Beyond. Liberty. Fuck yeah. White Slip. Fuck yeah. The Alamo. Fuck yeah. Band-Aid. Fuck yeah. Las Vegas. Fuck yeah. Christmas. Fuck yeah. Immigrant. Fuck yeah. Popeye. Fuck yeah. Democrat. Fuck yeah. Republicans. Sponsorship. Books.
Oh, that's a good one.
Fear, F-E-A-R.
F-E-R.
That stands for false evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
Romance, you know what it stands for? It stands for relying on magnificent and necessary compatible energy. Relationship, R-E-L-A-T-I-O-N-S-H-I-P. That stands for really exciting love affair, turns into nightmare, sobriety hangs in peril.
Yeah. Pusey doesn't say it any better than that. He's right. This is one of the weirder clips we have.
But you love me. 300.
He's had a hankering to live here.
Get off the face, you dirty Yankee.
Gone with DeSantis. I really don't even get why someone made that. I don't get it.
It's a weird mix of deep fake shit and some political agenda.
I don't get it. Still don't get it. But our next thing here is about Zachary Levi. He's in our right here. He's in our banner here. But Zachary Levi has called out Hollywood for its garbage films that it's put out, and urges moviegoers.
Shazam.
This is what everyone's been talking about. Yeah, like
Shazam.
You're right.
Fucking outraged. I mean, you're lucky you even got this fucking part. Do you remember this guy from anything other than this?
No, I don't really know how he got famous. I'm not really sure of that. I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't really, and I liked the first Shazam. I didn't think that was a bad movie.
I mean, his name is Zachary Levi. I can think of one or two ways.
So I looked into this. He's not Jewish. He's actually angelical, and he's gotten denied from parts for being quote too Jewish, but he's not Jewish, even though his name sounds like it would be. That maybe that's also how he's got parts in the first place. I guess he's on a show called Chuck. I think that was what got him famous. Chuck. I don't know if
Chuck,
you
I
ever
think
got.
he's like some kind of nerd spy. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of that got him famous. That's really it. I mean, I don't think he's bad in that Shazam movies. I don't think they're good either. But he said the studios don't care enough to actually make it great, which is true. He's saying I personally feel like the amount of content that comes out of Hollywood is garbage. They don't care enough to actually make it great for you to go. They don't. You know, how many times do you go watch a trailer and go like, "Oh my god, this looks cool," and then you go to the movie and you're like, "This is what I
This
get."
guy is he's like waking up to this for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, it is
Where the
true.
fuck
It's
you
like,
been, asshole?
yeah,
You
where
look
you been?
old.
They don't
should know.
know. You know, he's saying they know once you bought the ticket that you're in the seat, they got your money. That is true. It's like that is why you see these cool
Well,
trailers.
yeah, once you make the purchase, it's over. You don't even have to walk into the fucking theater.
Yeah, and that was kind of nice about Gran Turismo. The trailer sucked and the movie was good. So it was like the reverse. But
Well, that's
audience,
bad. You know, like imagine having that poor of a marketing scheme where the shitty movie can't even be fucking compensated for.
yeah, you can make that movie a lot. You can make a trailer off that movie that was a lot better. I would really just throw a lot of like David Harbour like shitting over like everybody. That would be like kind of what I'd do. And then there's like emotional moments in the film that you could maybe throw into the trailer somewhat. The stakes get raised a little bit.
Are you gonna do a re-edit of the trailer?
There should be a re-edit of the trailer. Honestly, I'm surprised there isn't a second trailer that's come out. There probably will be because it's coming out the 25th. It's coming out the 25th. I guarantee you they put out a new trailer. They really should too. I'm sure they've heard this.
A one or two complete re-edits of Indiana Jones.
Well, I have one edit I've done, which was the whole new Crystal Skull,
I
which
thought
is
you
way
did
better.
I thought you did Lord of the
Way
Rings
better than
edit.
the movie. No, I started to do a Hobbit movie edit, and then I realized like everybody and their mother's done a.
You know, like try and make it not 3 movies in one.
Well, yeah, but everyone and their mother has done a fucking Hobbit edit, so I was like, I want to do something different.
They deserve it.
Well, there are some good ones too. You can find some really good ones. There is some really good ones. Some people who actually did like effects, like they've done their own effects work, and it's crazy. Like I saw one, and they cut the whole thing down to an hour and a half, and it was really good. And they added like effects and music and all this shit, and you know, it's a whole different game than what I was doing. I basically like trimmed the fat off Indiana Jones Crystal Skull, and it is a way more interesting movie, the one I made. Way better than the new fucking movie. I was thinking about it. I think I have to do the new one. I don't really know what I would. I'll get me. You know, I'll have to look at it, but I don't really know what I would keep or take out. I don't know. The movie's just like ridiculous. I don't know. The movie's just ridiculous in the last act.
Once you're done, it'll be like a 40-minute.
Well, there's a couple chase scenes that go on way too long that you could cut at least like a couple minutes off of. So like there's some of that. And then there's I don't know, it's confusing because the movie opens up with this deep fake Indiana Jones thing where he's young and it's all CG, and that part was like okay, but it felt like someone trying to make a Spielberg movie. So it like felt fake. It felt like AI made the first 30 minutes of that movie. That's how it felt.
Maybe part of the film is like an experiment.
I don't know, but then I saw someone talk about this on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh shit, I actually would like that." Let me pull this up. This was someone said like, and I totally would be down for this. Someone said, you know, just send him the animation. I'm betting there'd be a ton of storytellers would love to tell an action story and continue the venture of Indiana Jones in this animated version. And yeah, I would be like 100% rather seeing something like this as like a TV show than any of that movie. You could have spent that money on like 3 seasons of this kind of show, and that would have been better. Way better. Do we really want to watch like a 70-year-old fucking Harrison Ford with his shirt off? You know,
So
like
you're
the answer
saying
is
instead of an old
no.
person, they should be animated?
Well, I think if you can do animated, you can at least kind of
What's the
continue
age limit?
Indiana Jones, you know, and like during his heyday. I
Well,
mean,
like,
I think
what do you think is the proper age to go from live action to animated?
what do you mean age? Age of the actor?
Well, I thought you were saying like Harrison Ford looks so old that he should be animated instead.
Yeah, but also it's like the fun of Indiana Jones was this late like late 30s, late like 40s type era. You know, like I want to see more
Well,
of
so
that
you're
stuff,
saying old
you
senior
know?
citizen Harrison Ford can't keep up with what's necessary for the role?
They didn't make this. That was actually made by different people. They like completely bowed out from this new movie. There's no Spielberg, there's no Lucas. They're done. They're counting their money in Fresno, California or something, I don't know. Rightfully so. But they don't want anything like I know Spielberg said he wants nothing to do with Indiana Jones. After Crystal Skull, that was the end of it. But like you were saying, Zachary Levi is slamming Hollywood after making Shazam, which was a box office fucking disaster. Really fucking bad. I was looking at the numbers. It's like embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You know, like here's the numbers. I'm gonna pull this up. Here's the numbers of this whole movie domestically. It didn't get a foreign run, or no, it did, but it wasn't much. It made about 57 million domestically, which is really fucking bad. We've had movies open up to that, like Barbie kind of opened up with that price. And then look at this. So that's 57 million. Look at The Sound of Freedom, which only cost $11 million to make, which I know has been
I
liberal
haven't seen a
Hollywood's
single
nightmare.
trailer or preview for that at all.
I don't think it's really got the marketing budget like that, but it's got a lot of like it's got a lot of like people just talking about it. That it's created a word of mouth.
Discourse.
There's more word of mouth than advertising going on in this movie.
Yeah, so you're saying like the discourse and popular like debate of, you know, whether people like it or not is enough to overcome the lack of any money behind it whatsoever.
Dude, it's got 173 million domestic. It's crazy compared to
That's
good.
Shazam, that's
who had
pretty awesome.
60
It's
million.
nice to see films succeed in that way. You know, I don't know about you, but like during COVID, I was worried like theaters would just be done, like they'd be shut down, and you'd never be able to go and see something you wanted to again.
I'll give it to Barbie and Oppenheimer. Well, probably more Barbie. Barbie's bringing that back. I mean, the thing is, this is like after Barbie's done. I don't think there's any movies to really keep people going, but it proves if you have something people want to see,
like
they'll
buy
come out.
time from now to like Oscar bait level shit, you know?
Yeah, but I don't even know if that brings people. It's like Barbie
I don't know,
brought
I mean,
people
like
because
The
it was
Whale and
gimmicky and
fucking
catchy.
Everything All at Once. They seem to do pretty good.
They did not do good in the
that's
theaters.
Like a down year too.
No, they did awful in the theaters. I'll show you. They did awful. Everyone talked about that. Like Everything Everywhere at Once won, but it did awful.
It's not like with the Chappelle Show where you could have millions of dollars in DVD sales. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
like
look at this.
If you don't hit in theaters, you're fucked. Because no one's going to pay for physical copies anymore.
This worldwide did 100.
People that do are morons.
This worldwide did 111 million, and Sound of Freedom just domestically did 173 million. So count those numbers there. You know, like that lets you know something there. And then look at The Whale. I don't even know. That's going to be even worse than this. The Whale is going to be 40 million.
What is this site, by the way? It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, the numbers is definitely the best. It's better than Box Office Mojo. I realize this is my favorite box office site.
Yeah, I'm gonna add this to my bookmarks. It's fucking really. I like
and then look at this, Barbie, fucking $1 billion worldwide. International is like ripping it up. Domestic's ripping it up. 530 million domestic. It's fucking crazy. Oppenheimer
I'm confused by is
doing
like
really well
how
too.
long
Really
how
well.
long it took to have a Barbie movie come out? Because to me, I would have thought like around when Clueless came out with Alicia Silverstone, there would have been some like borderline live action kind of ripoff of that, but it
Well,
never happened.
there's
You
been
know what I mean by that?
Barbie. There's
Like,
been
don't you feel
Barbie
like
direct to video.
don't
That's
you feel like Alicia Silverstone in Clueless was kind
she
of
would
like
she could have been a Barbie. She could have been
sort of
Barbie.
Barbie,
Yeah.
like pre-Barbie? I mean,
Like
I don't
if
know
you
you,
made
but
this
I thought
movie in the
Alicia Silverstone
90s,
was really good for.
if you made this movie in the late 90s, you would have got her. She would have been Barbie. You know, like that would have been a good casting pick for her. Now remember, this movie could have been what's her name? That fat comic bitch.
Amy Schumer.
Yeah, this could have been Amy Schumer. I wonder what the fucking
He turned it
money
down.
would have worked out with that.
I wonder if Greta Gerwig was talked out of that, or she realized
No, Amy Schumer dropped
having
out.
Amy Schumer was a horrible idea herself.
Amy Schumer dropped out because it wasn't feminist enough. It would have happened if she didn't drop
So
out.
Greta Gerwig had her as her first choice.
That was her first choice. Yes.
Wow. What an idiot. Like, she's still lucky
Yeah.
that failed.
She's lucky
so
that
fucking
didn't work.
lucky.
Yeah. Because
Nobody wants to fuck Amy Schumer. Like, you can't make a part like this that's that big and alienate every, like, like an entire market. Like, men don't want to see and fuck Amy Schumer. Like, they don't.
Right. And then
and I'm not
they
speaking
don't.
for
They
myself.
would have lost money.
I
Makes
think
the same.
in general, that's the consensus.
But yeah, here's some more stuff. Ever since Zachary Levi slammed Levy or whatever Levy, I don't know what his name is. He slammed Hollywood. There's been some backlash on Twitter, and I just wanted to read some of these comments because they're fucking ridiculous. This person says, "I used to like him as Chuck and Flynn Rider and Tangled, but everything recently lets me know he's a really horrible person." Which is because he said these movies suck. Like, I really wonder if these are Hollywood accounts that just put the shit out. Christopher Mark here says the guy who amplifies hate groups, anti-vaxxer misinformation has something to say. Excuse me, but shut the fuck up, dummy. Let's all go back to pretending you don't exist. Okay. And this guy says, coming from the guy who recently starred in a Christian movie about Kurt Warner. Yeah, I remember that. That is true. He was Kurt Warner. Forgot about that. Kevin Hamilton says, told you he was all sprinting to the Daily Wire bullshit. Okay. It's interesting. The only studios that will hire ass are Ben Shapiro or Angel Studios. That's the Sound of Freedom studio, which is probably a good studio to work for if you're looking at the numbers. This guy said he'd go on, say this, and then turn around and start in Spy Kids 5. I hate y'all made that N-word famous. Okay. You about to see him in a right-wing movie with Gina Carano made by Ben Shapiro. Okay. Wow, they really, it's funny. Anytime a Hollywood actor comes out as like religious, because I know he's religious, like Chris Pratt is religious, there's this backlash against them. It's like sad. This guy, N-word, you're part of the problem. It's ridiculous. It's almost offensive that how, like these are people who are so woke against being recognized, and then when someone's not what they want, then they can talk shit. Mixplex says, I'm not saying Margot Robbie brought in all the money, but it was going to take a believable Barbie and Ken to do it. It's true. That's the funniest thing about it is, you had all these feminist women who are going to see this movie, and then I guarantee you they all masturbated to Ryan Gosling like hours later. But the same thing with Margot Robbie. It's like, I don't think, women want to have someone who's good looking to, like women are the most judgy people alive. They're going to talk shit on every woman that isn't them. So they can't chalk shit on Margot Robbie. It was a perfect choice. But I've only heard that the best part in this was Ken, which is I think he's kind of like the anti-protagonist there, and I've only heard good things. Yeah, there's been multiple N-words in this thread. This person says, "Shut up, anti-vaxxer." So let me see. This kind of all comes from Zachary Levi. I don't know, Levy. I don't know what his name is. I know he's not Jewish, so maybe Levi. That'd probably be the less Jewish version. He said he agrees Pfizer is danger to the world. And then this is, I think, sort of where all these people have got on against him. It's like when Chris Pratt said he likes to golf with his pastor. That's where everyone started hating Chris Pratt. He likes to golf with his pastor. Who gives a shit? So it's the sad part is you can't be Christian these days. What's Mixaplex saying here? Barbie was white woman's Wakanda forever. Yeah, it really was. And I was watching one of those stupid YouTube videos where they ask millennials about history and geography. They asked them to name African countries, and I think half of them listed Wakanda. It's really sad. I mean, it's not too hard to come up with 5 countries from Africa. It's actually pretty easy. I think there's 24 something countries there, so it's not like a hard feat. But if you're a Gen Zer, it might be harder than you think, even millennial. Also, especially if you're from like an urban city, it seems to be they seem to be the ones they interview the most on those. They don't seem to get the greatest education. I don't know what's up with that, but who knows? There's a lot of money that goes in that. I know from New Jersey, they've put in so much funding into these lower income counties. Like, I mean, right here in New Jersey, we have Camden, which is really a shitty area. They put all this money into it.
It's like a fucking bomb went off.
Yeah, and they put all this money in the last 10 years to be like, all right, we're going to put tons of money into education, and then it's
really
going to work out.
Like, you drive around and you look at the buildings and people, and it's like every other complex is boarded up. Like, it doesn't even function. It's just a waste of real estate.
And then they were like, all right, we're going to put all this money in education, and it's going to increase the graduation rate. And since the past 10 years they've done that, it's actually only decreased. There's been less people to graduate from that county. So it's like, it's only not worked. Just not part of that culture. It's unfortunate. I mean, that's the thing is a lot of people like to blame white people. I don't think they have the greatest culture.
On purpose, you know, it's not working for a reason.
No, yeah, and I mean, I know people in just from Grapevine, people from Trenton who are born in Africa and then come over here, and then they try to go to college. They're like looked down upon that because that's like too white to go to college and try to make a good life. That's a white person's ideal, where it should just be that's a smart person's ideal, but they don't like that. They want you to listen to Jay-Z and sell crack in the streets. I don't know. Mixplex saying how can such reasonable take be controversial? Leo's take on Pfizer. Yeah, I mean, truth is it's true. There's weird shit. I mean, there's really weird shit with this vaccine. I think it's undeniable. And also, the thing is this, you can't deny the amount of money that Pfizer is making off of this. That's a big underlying statement.
Advertisements, like it's some fucking vitamin going by.
Yeah, regardless if you believe in the vaccine or don't, you know that this means they're making tons of fucking money off this. I think they're getting government funding.
Whether you agree with it or don't, there's research showing now that they had no idea the side effects it could have on the heart, and there's tons of people dying from complications related to it that are cardiovascular. So I mean, it doesn't take an idiot to connect the two.
Yeah, I mean,
it really is.
I'm on the side of like in the middle, whereas like I remember all these all the anti-COVID people were like, oh, it's not, it's or the pro-COVID lockdown people were like, oh, it's so bad, you got to lock down, you got to do this, it's so terrible. Then it turns out like, okay, it's not that bad. Then there's all these anti-vaxxer people who are like, oh, it's so bad, it's all this shit, it's all that. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that good either. So I'm like in the middle on all these.
You got to think about how many businesses the lockdown destroyed.
I mean, I'm just talking about the yeah.
Especially
I mean, that's a whole
restaurants.
other dude.
You know,
So
I
many
go through
companies, so many
the
things are
mall
gone.
near
Movies, man. The best movie theater around by me is gone. The one in Hamilton is gone. It was the best movie theater.
the mall near me. All the big
Oh, that mall sucks in Long Branch.
JCPenney type places, they're just completely empty and there's no lights on.
That
And
mall sucked like 10 years ago, though.
still, it's just like they've created almost like ghost stores where they're just completely devoid of anything. And I don't know how they even come back. I guess the economy's so fucked that there's not enough brought back into it for them to recreate the entire place, just inventory wise.
And then Mixplex is saying they lost the biggest. He's referring to Pfizer. Pfizer lost the biggest lawsuit in history for shady shit, but now we trust them. Come on, that's also not the only one they've lost. They've been sued in the past 20 years so many times and lost. I think they were selling like talcum powder that was proven to cause cancer. It's like countless shit. I mean, these people are not for you. You can't like. Come on,
I mean,
they're not for you.
Really,
you
it's
can't
population control
that, like
made out to be something that's beneficial for you.
Well, besides from population control, they're pro their wallet. They want to make their money. They don't care about the public or you. So don't act like they do, regardless of how you feel about a vaccine or not.
Of people dead. Like there's studies done on it. Like we need to inhibit the exponential growth of our species. We have to. Otherwise, we'll completely overtake every single inch of the entire fucking planet.
Yeah.
And it's as like horrible that sounds.
It's true though.
It's more than necessary.
Yeah. I mean, they're not a good. That's the thing is like people act like they're for your best interest. They are not for your best interest. They are not. I don't care how you feel about a vaccine or not. They are not for your best interest. They're a fucking privatized pharmaceutical company that's trying to make millions of dollars. And they do. Here's my next thing. Actors who are directed superhero roles, MCU roles. These are the people doing honorable stuff here. These people should only be awarded in society because turning these things down is like awesome to me. And they could have made tons of money. Let's look at the first one here. The first one to turn it down here. Number 9, Leo. Leonardo DiCaprio. He was actually he passed on Peter Parker. He passed on playing Robin. He passed on playing Dr. Octopus. It's been countless times he passed on superhero stuff.
I mean, those roles don't fit him at all.
Peter Parker fits him back, like during the Tobey Maguire era.
Yeah, I guess.
That would have worked, but I think Tobey, like having a little nerdier person, he's friends with Tobey Maguire. He might have actually passed this off to him on purpose.
I mean, he was so
would have been good.
Titanic. I don't know how the fuck you even want to make that work.
I mean, I do agree. I think he would have been a good mixed place saying this too, but I think he would have been a good Peter Parker, but probably a good thing to turn down.
No, not after Titanic. There's no way to experience that role without the context of him being in Titanic. This is too much. It's way too much.
Yeah, it's too it's too close. That might be also why you kind of turn it down. It's like really close. 1999, I think, is Titanic. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm gonna say 99. Let me see Titanic. Yeah, no, I'm wrong. 97. Oh my god, I'm way off. I need to start looking at almanac for the rest of the night, drinking chocolate milk. That's good. That's what I got to do now. Now that I got that wrong, it's gonna be me drinking chocolate milk, looking at an almanac. Number 8, Tom Cruise.
Is that a reference to something?
No, not a reference to anything. Just a reference to.
I didn't know you like chocolate milk like that.
No, I don't really like chocolate milk at all, but it sounds like somebody who's like going to be studying like an almanac for like all night, looking at his mistakes. They're going to probably drinking chocolate milk and studying, which sounds wholesome. Tom Cruise.
It does. Yeah. Sounds
It
pretty
does,
awesome.
right?
Over
Let
a
me see what Tom
fireplace.
Cruise turned down. What did Tom Cruise turn down? Probably everything. I'm sure he got. Honestly, I'm
Being
gonna
straight.
just out the bat. I'm sure he got offered the Iron Man part.
John Travolta.
Oh yeah, Iron Man right here. Like I'm trying to think of someone like Iron Man would have been offered to him. He turned it down. I'm trying to think of who else. That would probably be it. Tony Stark. I can't really think of any other character he could play. Maybe exactly Spider-Man back in the day. Oh yeah, this goes back to canon. Wow, that goes back to those Israel Jews who ran canon. Okay, so they offered him a Spider-Man part, and he turned that down. He could have been a good Peter Parker if you're gonna like talk about like late '80s. He would have been great at that. Turn down. Yeah, I mean that's like he's kind of like he has like a nerdy vibe to him. He would have been a good Peter Parker. Another good choice if you're talking like late '80s Tom Cruise.
It's fucking good, but it's weird. I mean, the guy creates a brothel out of his house.
Number 7, Russell Crowe. He turned down Wolverine, which I can totally see him being that. But definitely a little under his belt. Good thing Hugh Jackman got that part because I feel like Hugh Jackman really fits that role.
Yeah, what do you think of the Gladiator? That movie.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah,
I love The Gladiator.
I don't know what it is about it. I mean, the acting's good.
I think the stars aligned for that movie.
And just the way that it's constructed, it's just so fucking smooth. It's just
even like I truly think like there's movies that are meant to be like great movies, and that's one of them. Like the stars aligned for that movie. You know, like in the beginning of the movie where there's a battle sequence and it's snowing. Ridley Scott was saying it wasn't supposed to snow, and then randomly once they started shooting, it like started to snowfall, and it like made that scene like perfect. That whole movie is just brilliant. I love it. I love all the flashbacks. I love him in the wheat field, all that shit. It was great. Great death scene. Joaquin Phoenix is really good. Great movie.
He's a very good villain.
It definitely is a big rip-off of Spartacus, but it's a better rip-off. It's like better than Spartacus. Spartacus is not as good as The Gladiator.
Well, yeah, they reference certain parts of the.
It's really close, man. It's really close.
The sequence where the what the fuck is the shit that gets drugged by horses? Chariot.
Yeah. Well, like Ben-Hur too is Ben-Hur the original is way better than the remake, but again, that again, like I think this is better than Spartacus.
I forget her name, but I think Connie Nielsen. She's really good. She's great in that film.
She's the queen.
Weird.
Oh, the sister wife. The sister wife.
Somewhat love interest of Russell Crowe, but not fully.
And Joaquin Phoenix.
They have like a very weird history. Well, yeah, he's trying to fuck his sister the whole time. Like he's dead set on that. It's just does not want it to happen. She's just trying to have her little just trying to have her kid not get murdered the entire movie, pretty much. It's like, let me not have to fuck my brother and let me not have my son get murdered. And that's her whole entire storyline. It's still fucked up. Yeah.
But number 6, Joaquin Phoenix. He got choice to be the Doctor Strange choice before Cumberbatch, which that makes sense to me. I get that.
Really,
I would definitely go to him first.
Lock that up.
I would go to him first and then Cumberbatch. I think that's a good choice. Like if I had to pick someone, I would definitely pick him, and then my number 2 would be Cumberbatch. Yeah, that's a good number 2.
Cumberbatch is so much more of a overactor than Joaquin. You know, Joaquin knows how to understate his role.
I don't think Doctor Strange has helped him out.
You know, he's been through the biz. I mean,
I feel like Doctor Strange has ruined his career.
River Phoenix is like a fucking.
That's the dead one. That's the dead one. That's the Stand By Me. Indiana Jones Jr. dead one there. Master Commander is such an underrated movie. That is, I mean, I like Russell Crowe a lot. I'm a big fan of his. Like, don't get me wrong,
No,
I love
it's a
him.
good movie. Paul
Beautiful
Bettany's
Mind.
got a part of like where he plays a scientist surgeon,
Yeah,
and
you got fucking Pippin in there.
there's like a midway through the movie, or maybe even the second half, they arrive on this island, and he's allowed to like go all over
I
the
love that
place
movie.
and dialogue all of the species that they find, and then right after that, he gets killed.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
still
a
have to
really
watch
good.
that.
It's a really good character arc. You really fall in love with his character because he needs like this intelligent balance. He's almost like this over military Chad fuck who needs
Mhm.
like somebody to kind of like balance out the you know aggressive nature in like combat and you know picking fights with all these different random ships and stuff. And then once he dies, it's like it's over. Like he's lost that um almost like check to his balance. Like he needed somebody to level him out and keep him in control, and then he just loses it altogether. And then that's when it's like just war.
Yeah, exactly. Mexiplex is saying who dies? Question mark. Who dies?
Paul Bettany,
Paul Bettany.
who he's an English actor.
He has a Beautiful
I think
Mind.
he's
He's
actually
in
married to Jennifer Connelly. Lucky
yeah, he's in
motherfucker.
Beautiful Mind. He's in he says Mixplex says and he don't die. Maybe he survives that. I don't remember that part.
I thought in Master Commander he died on the island that they came across, and that's
Maybe
what makes the entire
been a long
experience
time
so
for me on that
profound
one.
because he almost knows the entire time. He's just living off of borrowed time, and whatever he tracks is before he's
Mixplex
dead.
says he does
And then
surgery
he's
on
going
himself.
to leave whatever his
He does
notes.
surgery on himself and lives. That's right. That is true. He's right on this. I remember this now. He does live.
Well, he should have died.
He should have died, yeah. Well, it was one of those life or death situations, to surgery and then lives. But another Mixplex, you are right on this. Another underrated Russell Crowe movie is The Nice Guys. You ever seen Nice Guys with Ryan Gosling? That's a good movie.
No, I feel like we had it, but Mixiplex. How the fuck how do you know the plot of Master Commander that well known?
He's like a fan of Master Commander.
Like you sick fucker. Like how do you know the plot line of Master like that fucking half-ass
He knows the beat for beat,
that came and went to heart that well to combat that fucking tape.
Also also a movie that I remember at the time did not do well because of the runtime. The runtime kind of killed that movie. I remember it was super long and everyone was complaining about it. Like I can still remember people talking about like, oh, it's not Lord of the Rings. It shouldn't be 3 hours. I remember that. But next one on the list.
Nothing should be 3 hours. This is too fucking long to have to sit anywhere for anything.
Number one here, number 5, Emily Blunt. I always love Emily Blunt. I think she's always good.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah.
I actually like all those quiet movies. What do they call it? The Quiet Place. The 2 movies they did were pretty good. I don't know if you ever seen any of those 2 movies, but even the sequel wasn't bad.
I came across her was the that Anne Hathaway movie, The Devil in Prada or whatever.
Yeah.
And she looked just so cute, and I liked her performance, even though it was like she was barely in the film. And over time, I definitely fell in love with her. I love Emily Blunt.
Oh wow, she was the original choice for and Edge of Tomorrow. Oh my god, yeah, I love that movie. That's one of those movies it's such a cult movie.
She's in so much good stuff.
She's in good stuff. She chooses good roles. I mean, she's in Oppenheimer. I know. I heard she's got a couple scenes. I know she's not a big part of it.
I don't know. I just find her so likable, and
she's likable. Yeah, she's subtle. Also, she's a subtle performing actress, and it's nice.
I just feel like with most of her roles, she doesn't overact and understates what is asked of her, and that alone kind of leaves room for how you watch her performance. I don't know how to really say it. It just I feel like she
She's
doesn't
subtle,
do
man.
too
She's
much
she's good at what
at
she
any
does.
time, but she's also very impactful and memorable in whatever she's doing. Like it's a very good balance of not being annoying or obnoxious, but also like very impactful and memorable in whatever role you have.
So she turned down the Natasha Romanoff part, which is Black Widow, which Scarlett Johansson went on to play, and then she also turned down the Peggy Carter role, which is that hot bitch in the Captain America movies. Which I'm glad she turned those down because
Haley Atwell, yeah, I'm glad
I
Haley
think I like
Atwell
both the other
got
choices better.
anything because I feel like her entire career she's not gotten enough exposure. Haley Atwell
Yeah.
is really fucking good.
Yeah, and I think they both kind of like those other two actors just sort of fit actresses rather. They just sort of fit those parts maybe a little better. Maybe
Well,
Over
yeah, I
the Top
mean,
might be a
one
little
is
better in those.
like a big-breasted British woman, and the other is like a more affable, understated, kind of personable, relatable person. This
Well,
Haley Atwell
another
is like built to shit. Like she's a fucking
another big titted actress here is
completely
Jessica
smokestack
Chastain, and
tank.
she was offered the part of Black Widow as well. Turned that down. Oh wow, number 3. This is another one who would be interesting. I could totally see this. Mel Gibson, who's is a big mentor of Robert Downey Jr. He was one of the people who supported Robert Downey Jr. after he got off drugs to like get back into the movies, and he promoted him and all that stuff. He was like the champion of Robert Downey Jr. There was talk of him playing Odin, who went on to be what's his name, the Hannibal guy, played him. What's that actor? He's a famous guy. Who's Hannibal again? Uh,
Do you mean Hannibal as in like Hannibal Lecter or
Hannibal
Hannibal as
Lecter.
in
Hannibal Lecter. Yeah.
oh that's
Oh, gosh. Anthony Hopkins.
yeah.
Anthony Hopkins played Odin, but Mel Gibson could have been. He might have been a little too young for that. I think it's nice having Anthony Hopkins, who's kind of older. Not that that part really mattered though either. It's such a that was like a nothing part. You could have got anyone for that.
Now I feel like if you had Mel Gibson at that point, there would have been too much testosterone and like masculine energy between the parts to where you need some like not washed up but like over the hill kind of actor to just mentor them into it. You know what I mean? Like you don't need
Yeah.
that almost adversarial subconscious kind of hatred between the two people where they're trying to like one up each other or like be comparable. You need like a gap.
Yeah. Now here's an interesting one. Matt Damon turned down the role of Daredevil, and I'm also thinking I think he would be a good Batman. I think Matt Damon would be a very good Batman. I don't know why. I just think he's a good. I think that could work.
Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were
both up for. I think they were. I think Matt Damon
together and stuff.
Matt Damon was offered the Daredevil part and kind of turned it down and said, "Hey, Ben should do it." But I was thinking, I think Matt Damon actually would be a good Batman.
Enough of a friendship or connection to where they would bow out of parts to where they wouldn't fuck one another over.
Like, well, I mean, here's a weird thing with Batman is I think Matt Damon would be a very good Bruce Wayne. I don't know if he would be a good Batman, but he fits. I think he could be a good Bruce Wayne.
I mean, anyone's a good Batman. The motherfucker has no supernatural ability.
I don't know. I think Bruce Wayne's a different type role. I think Matt Damon with like glasses and like would be a good Bruce Wayne. I would like that, but then I don't know if I could really see him in the suit. Not Matt Damon would be good at that. I don't know. Daredevil would be fine too. I could kind of see that. I'm kind of glad he didn't do it. Number one, Matthew McConaughey has turned down multiple roles. Apparently, I think he turned down the role of Ego, which was given to Kurt Russell, in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Kurt Russell is a better part for that.
That's like such a nothing part. A million people could
It
have
kind of
played that.
is. Kind of the same thing with that Anthony Hopkins part. It's like that Odin part is kind of a nothing part. It's like a waste
Yeah,
of
you
a.
just need
It's a
like
waste of a
an
big actor.
older, father fucking figure. I mean,
I don't think McConaughey's old enough, and the same thing with what's his name?
no, having Matthew McConaughey
Mel
be the
Gibson's not
father
old enough
would have
either.
been too young.
Yeah, I agree. Way too young.
You were actually thinking about that as an option?
They were thinking about it. That was the first choice.
This is stupid. Ah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
makes
I'm
me
glad
wanna
they
get
didn't do
into,
that.
Advertising.
Although there's a lot of things in that. I think the original Guardians of the Galaxy, there was 3 people up for the main role. Did you know that? There's Chris Pratt. Do you know who the other 2 are? They're
For
kind of
what?
weird. For the main role of Guardians of the Galaxy, Star-Lord, there's 3 people up for it. And
Yeah,
Chris
no, I
Pratt
remember
was,
it being
the
like
other
a
2.
big conversation at the time, but the people involved, I don't.
The other 2 were Glenn Howerton from Always Sunny, and then the other one was Rob McElhenney from Always Sunny. Which I kind of think that could have worked because
Is that serious or are you saying that up?
oh, I'm not joking at all. Those were the 3 choices.
Do you
It was
approve
very
that?
heavily gonna be Rob McElhenney. Apparently, that's sort of what got him to be so
what
fit.
proof do you have of that? Is there like a post or a video? Or
No, I mean,
anything?
I'll look it up right now. But I remember that at the time, like there was all this.
How? I mean,
speculation.
they hadn't done shit to garner that level of casting at all.
I think they wanted someone comedic. That was the whole thing. Is they wanted someone comedic. Here we go. Actually, I'm looking at it. It looks like Glenn Howerton was probably the closer part to playing Star-Lord. But here we go. Yes, Glenn Howerton was. Oh god, I gotta allow ads. Hold on. Whatever, allow ads. Yes, Glenn Howerton was this close to playing Star-Lord. But I know Rob McElhenney was up for it as well. Yeah, he even says it still hurts. I mean, I think James Gunn, that's the thing, is like James Gunn's cool. He liked good stuff. He wanted a comedic actor to be the main character.
I agree with that. I don't see the jump from one part to another. Because you got to think like when he's casting them, he's watching Always Sunny.
I mean, here's straight from James Gunn. The second choice was Glenn Howerton. So I guess the first choice was Chris Pratt, but the second choice was Glenn Howerton. And then I heard the third choice was Rob McElhenney.
Do you think he saw Coffee Town and said this is not going to work?
I don't know, but I don't think. I don't know. I think I would actually say I think Rob McElhenney would be better than Glenn Howerton, but probably still both of them are less than
Glenn Howerton's a better actor.
No, but I kind of think McElhenney kind of fits it. I don't know if you haven't seen Mythic Quest.
Well, yeah, maybe he fits the part, but
like,
Glenn Howerton's definitely a better actor.
Probably. Well, I'd say maybe Chris Pratt might be better than. Oh no, I don't know. Glenn Howerton probably is the best of all 3 there. He is a good actor. He's actually a very good actor.
I mean, there's times where he just completely carries Always Sunny.
Oh, he's the best. He's the best character in the show. Like, he kind of kills it in that show. Like, he's by far the best character. I don't think there's anyone even close.
There are certain episodes where without him it would not exist. Like, he is, I wouldn't say like he's not the main character, but the foundation of his storyline with his sister and the father make up the foundation of the show. And then if you don't have Danny DeVito in an episode, it comes down to the two of them. And as much as I love, Charlie and Rob, they're definitely secondary. They're not.
Yeah,
They get their
I think the best
shine.
two are
It's like
Sweet
what I
Tea
always
and
love
Glenn
about like
Howerton.
Seinfeld and Curb and stuff like that. It's like they'll give a certain weird character an entire episode to themselves, just because I feel like they're just like trying to fuck around and see how much they can build off of it. But the foundation of the show is that family.
Yeah, I do think the best characters are Glenn Howerton's, and I think Caitlin Olsen
Sweet D.
is probably the other better character.
I feel like Sweet
Both
D
of them are
gets
the best.
She gets relegated as like a ploy, but a lot of times she isn't like carrying an episode, but she fills in all like the necessary plot points to keep it going,
Oh yeah, she definitely does. Definitely does.
Like one of my favorite lines is when Charlie is having sex with her in the video game, and he's he's got like these weird energy balls, which are like these. I don't know what the fuck they're made out of, but they look like meatballs. They're just like digesting over and over again. Talk about like it's okay he didn't fuck Sweet D because it was in the video game, but I mean he's like, isn't he?
But he does fuck Sweet D in
But he's
another
actually like
episode.
fucking Sweet D in real life.
No, that's Rob McElhenney. That's Mac.
Oh, I
That's
confused the two.
that's
Oh no,
Mac's
he's
wife.
fucking the waitress.
Yeah, that's his wife. Yeah. But I think that about covers it.
It must be very insidious how sets get where like it's like a slow orgy or something, like everyone's fucking each other eventually.
That's Hollywood, babe. That's like what Rachel Zegler said. Didn't she say something like that? What did she say?
No, it's just a matter of time.
Let me see. What did Rachel Zegler say? I gotta pull up because that seems accurate.
It is just a matter of time, though.
Scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
It's Hollywood, baby.
Way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
See, that's that, man. But I think that about covers it.
You live so long, bitch.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. I don't think she'll have much of a career. To tell you the truth, I think that's like all these
be
Disney,
careful
Star Wars
and meet
actresses.
them
She'll be
out.
done soon. But we are at twitter.com/wizard_shack. And we'll be back Friday. See you guys.